we're going to travel to Mexico, and we are going on for something very special about Score International. So Ralph is joining us back on screen from this morning. What a live session. What a treasure it was to have you on live from Vegas, Ralph. It was a great session.
Well, thank you, Francis. Yeah, a little warmer now. I'm indoors, but still here in Vegas, getting ready to go back out and watch practice and qualifying and all the activity out there at the Open Wheel Showdown coming up later today. But now we're going to go down Mexico way to Baja. So joining us now is Jose Grijalva. Jose, you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you, and also Juan Tintos, our general manager here, is we're together.
Hello, welcome to both of you. Jose is the president and race director of Score International, and Score International, Jose, is based out of Ensenada, Mexico, correct?
That is correct. We do all of our racing here in Baja.
I know a lot of folks are familiar with Jim Ryan. I think Jim's probably tuned in and watching. And Jim is north of the border. He's up here in the San Diego area, correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
So how does Score operate like that with, main offices in both parts of the world like that? How do you separate command?
Well, our team of guys is just unbelievable. I mean, we work all year long. It doesn't matter if they're in the U.S. or they're in Mexico. I mean, it's just an ongoing thing every day. So we can really say that us in Score, we do act and work as a family. So it's pretty easy to get along with everyone, and everyone does the best they can.
Yeah. Well, if there's one thing that's going to happen if you're going to be involved with Score, you're going to have to be pretty good at logistics. So I can imagine you guys are all pretty exceptional when it comes to that.
Well, like Jose G says, it's truly a binational team, a great effort. By the time race day or race week comes, we've worked on various aspects, from Jose G going out and looking for the most incredible routes that you can imagine. Just the Baja nature takes care of our routes, with if it's a rain or if it's foggy or cold, like this past Baja 1000. The racers started with 87-degree weather in La Paz and finished with rain, cold, and fog here in Ensenada. But it's a team effort with the 3 levels of government and private sector, and obviously the communities, the ejidos and the landowners, where we mark our routes that really comes together come race week.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up. In racing, that's a constant challenge, even for permanent facilities that have been there for decades. You're always having to deal with local governmental issues or state issues or federal issues. And what you folks are doing down in Mexico with the 1,000 and the other races, you do 4 races a year, they're all a challenge when it comes to figuring out how to navigate through private property and government property and national lands. How long does it take? Is it a constant 365 day out of the year? Oh, you're laughing. It's obviously the biggest challenge you face, right?
24/7. It's like this Baja 1000 that was unique. It was historical. We worked on it for over a year. And it's not just the racing. I mean, it's getting teams across the border. It has so many aspects to it that everything has to come together come race week. So it's a lot of work.
And then you've got aspects from the racers. And to give you an example, we've had races where we've had over 30 helicopters and 10 private planes and jets come into airports like San Felipe or Ensenada, or in this case in La Paz, the past Baja 1000. So it's a great effort from a lot of authorities and getting everything ready for, especially when we open for pre-running. We open 2 weeks, or in this case, this last Baja 1000, we opened 3 weeks of pre-running, and that kind of gives you an example of what has to be everything in place. So when we have the race.
Let's talk about this most recent Baja 1000, and we can't call it the Baja 1000. It was really the Baja 1300, maybe even more than that. You guys basically ran the Baja 1000, and then you told the guys, hey, when you get done with that, I got a San Felipe 250 for you right after that. You guys went 1,300 miles?
Yeah, this year is the 50th anniversary of Score International. So when Jose and I and the rest of the team, we started talking about something special, we did the Peninsula run this year instead of next year, originally scheduled for 24. But Jose and all of us had been in conversations and getting feedback from racers and fans and sponsors about why not doing it from south to north. So this was historic. It was the first time that with a tech inspection, contingency, and the start, the beautiful Malecon in La Paz, and then ending here, the beautiful boulevard here in Ensenada. So, but like Jose says, it took a year.
Yeah, but like you said, yeah, we threw a 1,000. And since it was the 50th anniversary, we weren't going to make it easy. We never make it easy. So, hey, the 1,000 plus a 250, see what they say. And the feedback from the ones that finished was that it was the most unbelievable, the best race ever. So yeah, it was quite an achievement for everyone. But the ones that finished, my hats off. And like this year, we broke record on motorcycle Ironman entries, which I have no clue how it's humanly possible for them to do 1,311 miles by themselves, like the way they did it. I mean, it was just unbelievable for us. We're still stoked.
Yeah, I want to touch on that. I got so much I want to chat with you guys about, but let's you've opened the door on it. I got to bring this guy up. The young man that came all the way from Australia with nothing, then buys a bike off of Craigslist, basically, and decides he's going to come race this event and makes it all the way to the end and does it basically with the help of fellow competitors. I mean, following him on social media was amazing. Pulling up to pit areas and folks would have a fire and he would just walk up to the fire and take 5 minutes to warm up before he got back on the bike and continued on the adventure. That to me is what Baja is all about.
Well, I mean, there's a few, of course, but yeah, it was unbelievable that how unprepared he was, not physically, because he's a tremendous athlete, and his friend, he had a friend with him that raced with us in 2019. That's how he knew about it, and they got together, they were talking, and they said, I'm gonna do it. They wanted to do it together, but no, he said, like, no, I'll do it first, like you did it solo, and then in 2 years they're gonna come back and do it together, not Ironmanning it. But yeah, he was stopping with spectators and getting food, resting. People supported him because it was incredible. But also Nicola Duto, our Italian racer. I mean, he is paraplegic, and the guy raced the Baja 1000. It was unbelievable. Like I said, we're super happy with this one.
And you had over 50%, I believe, was the finish rate.
Yeah, close to 55, I believe. It was pretty good. It was the hardest race I think we've ever done, and I was surprised that so many finished. I mean, we were hoping for more, but surprised that that many finished.
We had 335 starters and 178 finishers. Obviously, in the 50-hour span that we gave for the race teams. We had some teams that, heck, after driving so many hours through the rain and everything, even though it was closed, they made it to Ensenada, but officially we had that number.
And you probably would have had more entries had it not been for the fact that so many got together and formed super teams for this year's event.
Yeah, that's exactly what we talked about. Of course, if we had done it in 1,200 miles or 1,100, I don't know. If we had done it maybe 150 miles shorter, we would have probably hit the 400 mark like we did in 2017 when we had 404. But it was great.
As an organization, maybe we should explain a little bit for those that don't know what the super teams were some of the big teams getting together and working together, sharing vehicles, sharing personnel, sharing logistics, so forth and so on to try to battle for the win. Is that a direction you want to go or something you don't want to see happen as much in the future?
No, it has to happen. It always happens. It happens in the 1,000. At the end of the year, whoever's not going for the points, they team up. But this year it was something different because it was so long. Instead of doing two, we lost 3 teams. So it was between 3 top drivers would form one instead of 2. So that's why we lost a few of the top entries. But still, the number was unbelievable.
Yeah, it had to be a lot, had to do with being a peninsula run. And we got to be honest, a lot of the race teams said, well, it's just like going to be driving uphill instead of downhill. But by the time they started doing their logistics, by the time they got down to La Paz and they started seeing the route that Jose G came up with, they started seeing it was going to be something special and something incredible. And they were happy in many cases that they joined forces.
What was the biggest challenge, Jose, in going south to north as opposed to north to south for the teams?
Okay, I would say the biggest challenge, they created the biggest challenge, of course, because we know the peninsula, we know the terrain, and typically going north to south, teams don't pre-run or as much the last 400 miles. They like usually their logistics is the first half. That's where that's where they want to be ahead, and so they pre-run twice the first half. So this time, by doing it the opposite way, they pre-ran way too much. So the terrain, the course was totally destroyed. We had silt beds that were, I mean, of course they were passable, but super difficult. We had cars stuck. It was a super challenge. But I want to say the biggest challenge for all of our teams was going through the silt beds around mile 320 to 350.
Those are those in their best shape. They're incredibly difficult to pass.
Funds were unreal. I mean, unreal. Yeah. Now technologies have gotten. I mean, we have all-wheel drive trophy trucks with running with 40-inch tires. They were having problems. Can you imagine the limited classes with 33s, 35s,
the class 11s,
200
class 11 buggies?
Oh, class 11s, we did bypass them. We didn't make them go through that section. They would still be there. There would be landmarks. But
yeah. How thoughtful of you, Jose. You're an evil man on so much of this. What you put these competitors through.
Yeah, no, I know. They're funny. They don't love me that much. I'm not the race director. They say I'm the race dictator. But hey, we do our best. It's a challenge.
They love the challenge, right? That's what makes it special. And as we said, okay, we're spending a lot of time on the 1,000, which is the granddaddy of them all. But you do have 3 other events. What can we look forward to in 2024 with SCORE?
Oh, we're going to stick with our 4 races. We have our first race, the one we kick off the year. It's San Felipe 250. That it's also, we kind of do it it's like 300 miles. But we always want to have, if it's a 250, it has to be 250 of race miles. So we don't count speed zones or highway sections. That's why we add more miles. We want it to be a true or what we're saying. If it's 250, they're going to race 250 miles. So we open up with San Felipe 250 at the end of March, which the weather by then is good. We're not worried so much about storms and the cold. Then at the beginning of June, we do the Baja 500, which is super popular. The Baja 400 that we've only done it 4 times now, and it's growing to be a really good race. And we finished the year with the Baja 1000, which is the mother of all, like we say.
It's important to note that the San Felipe 250 is actually our most popular race.
Right now, yeah. It's the one that's growing.
We've had like 45, 44 trophy trucks race at the 250, more than a 1000. And there's a qualifying day for the for 3 classes also. That's like an added attraction for the fans. It's like a stadium race, and then you have contingency on the Malecon in San Felipe, which is really nice. Great weather, great beach, great food, and the racers love it. That we've had the highest number of participants is usually at the San Felipe 250.
I had the opportunity to be a co-driver in the 1,000 back in 1992, 93. I'd have to look it up to remember exactly. We ended up finishing second in Class 7 4x4. I was part of the day racing organization.
Oh,
team
really?
out of San Diego.
With Darren York?
Yeah, Darren York. Yes. Great,
I
great family.
his truck.
Yes. Francisque has just asked, there you go. Could you just slide a little over to your left there, Jose? There you go. We want to see all of you there. So everybody knows who the evil guy is down there setting up these crazy courses. Anyway, during that experience, when I got all said and done with it, I got out of the truck and I said, this is truly the last great adventure for man on the planet, to me, when it comes to doing something in a vehicle, because it is just so hard to explain what the experience is like. I mean, you talked about the silt beds, and I'm having flashbacks to what it was like going through the silt and how you couldn't see a thing, and how Darren was moving out just to try to catch a glimpse of, is there anything out there? And then he'd move back into basic blindness, flat to the floor, and just going. It's incredible. And the river washes and everything you experience. And the next thing you know, there's this beautiful ocean you come across. Then you're back up in the hills in a forest. Just amazing experience, just amazing. So my question is, how difficult is it for you to find new terrain each and every time you do these races? Because the Baja Peninsula, as spectacular as it is only so big. And if you've been doing this for so many years, you got to be crisscrossing a lot of familiar territory.
Well, that's on course wise, that's our biggest challenge, because we know what's out there, but we're always innovating, like Juan always says that. And every single race, we throw a new section. I mean, it's awesome when a Rob McCachran or Cameron Steele, Larry Roth, or guys that have been with us forever say, hey, I have no clue where I am. I mean, I've never been here before. And that's something that makes us really proud. But it's just an ongoing process of being out there on the computer, see if we can connect things, and then we go out there. So we actually work a lot. But we plan. I mean, we go out with a bunch of options and see what works.
Plus, we use some sections that haven't been used like in 10, 15 years, and Mother Nature's taken care of it. And it's totally different from the last time we were there. And even like the racers, like Jose says, they say, oh, yeah, I remember that section. But once they pre-run it, it's a whole different thing.
But it is getting more difficult, definitely more difficult. Baja is not getting smaller, but lots of, there's a lot of people owning. I mean, before it was big sections of the Chatejido land. You just get one permit and then you're good for a lot of miles. Now it's just owner, new owners. It's getting, and lots of environmental studies and protected areas. So it is getting, every time it's getting more difficult, but it's just more work we have to do, and we're super happy to do it.
I guess a lot of that comes down to the fact that the folks of the Baja Peninsula love the event as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 4 races are the most important tourism events in Baja. They're the ones that attract more visitors, generate more promotion, and more economic impact. So that's why they're expecting our races every year, like in San Felipe or places like Bahia de Los Angeles, obviously Ensenada. And that's something that we've worked very hard to achieve that, in coordination with the authorities and the private sector.
So, okay, you challenge these guys with this epic 1,300-mile race this year. You can't do that to them every time, right?
No,
every third year.
Every third year, we do the Peninsula Run every third year, and like next year in 2024, it'll be a loop race. So when we do loop races, if we get to 1,000 miles, it'll be a record breaking. It's usually 700 to 800 miles, and we try to make it easier.
Your level of easier is not the same for the average person. You know that.
Oh, I know. Because I'm frustrated because I don't race anymore. So so I have to be sitting here watching them, and so I just make it difficult.
you know, Baja was all about it. All kind of got started by guys just going, hey, let's just go down there and take our, you know, Manx dune buggies and see if we can get from one end to the other and have a good time and drink some cervezas and tequila while we're on the way, right? And then it becomes like everything in racing. You got a couple of guys, now you got 4 guys. Now we got a real race, and here we go, right? So it used to be all you needed was that dune buggy or your dirt bike. How do I do it now? If I'm an amateur, how do I get involved?
Well, the first, bless you. The first
Thank
thing
you.
is, if you're married, you got to have permission from your wife. That's one.
Money.
Money. That's number 2.
All right, so 2 things, I'm out.
That's why we're here, not racing. We're married, no money. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the good thing about, I think, off-road racing is that anyone can do it at any level, because we have so many classes that you can start them. You can start in limited classes. I mean, if you have the money, you don't need like you don't need experience. I mean, you just register and you can race. So there's people that will give you a ride and drive programs that are really good, and I won't mention them, but there's ways to get started with this, and it's easy. It's just costly.
Is it fairly easy to find a category that I can go out and realistically purchase the vehicle and build it in my garage and bring it down and go race?
Definitely,
For
yes.
the adventure, if not the win?
Yes, of course. Of course, you have to check that it has to be within our technical specifications, so that it's a safe vehicle to race, and it of course has to pass tech. But yeah, of course, you can get in a UTV, you can get in a Volkswagen Bug, you can get on a motorcycle, and you can come and race with us.
That's fantastic. Obviously, like all good, successful racing series, you've got plenty of logos on your shirts. How do you see the sponsorship of and support financially from the industry impacting Baja these days as compared to how it was in previous years? Are things on the rise?
Oh yeah, it definitely it's growing. A lot has to do with Jim Ryan's work and his team, but also when you get racers like Toby Price or Nasser Al-Attiyah come and race here, Dakar champions, and they go back and say, "Wow, this is racing that we don't rest. It's nonstop. It's long." Word of mouth helps a great deal, both with racers and fans, but also with sponsors. When they see, racers like the Formula One champ, Jenson Button or Alexander Rossi, or from other types. Heck, we even had the sexiest man in the world, Patrick Dempsey, come down and race here several times. So that's all good publicity. And a lot of people say, wow, that's something special and we want to be part of it. Obviously, as sponsors also.
One of the biggest challenges you have is broadcasting your event. What kind of innovation have you done with that lately?
Well, we've gone a long ways now with all the Starlinks and our live programs. That's the future for definitely. And it depends on technology. It's I think in a couple of years, this is going to be huge. How easy it's going to be to broadcast like we're already doing from inside the race car. We can be talking with the drivers, and if they answer. But it's just now you can be everywhere and be doing a live program, which before it was pretty much impossible. So technology is helping a lot, and I think that's going to be the future for sponsors, for racers, for everything. Because everyone wants to see the race live. I mean, when you already know who won, you don't want to see it in a couple of months. So this is definitely the future for us.
Yeah, for sure. Fans are always intrigued about going to a new event. Obviously, there's not a lot of grandstand areas out in the middle of the desert to watch the Baja 1000 or any other events. If somebody is interested in coming down to just witness this event, is that doable and feasible these days as well? And what do they do?
100%. I mean, we put on one of the best shows in the world, and it's free for the public.
It's free. A lot of people sometimes call us and say, "How much are the tickets?" And we say, "No tickets."
We can't put grandstands on 1,000 miles. we never do that. I mean, it's 100% free. You come, you camp, you just pick your spot, and you can watch the race.
We always emphasize to be a responsible fan and take care of Mother Nature, pick up all your trash. Don't, try and take selfies with a trophy truck racing at 100 miles right next to you. We always emphasize that. So, because our main goal, besides the promotion and the economy and everything, is we call it in Mexico saldo blanco. It's no fatalities.
No. Safety for us.
Safety is priority one.
Number one.
Yeah, you always have to remember, if you pack it in, pack it out, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Take care of the desert. How do fans go about finding out more information about it? Because again, with 1,000 miles, finding a good location to go and watch from is difficult. Where do they find course maps and learn about how to get to locations?
We're pretty good at almost a month before each race, we post a map of the course. We don't post the GPS files because we don't want people to be pre-running or doing things that they shouldn't when we're still negotiating or doing things on the course. But we post the map, the printable map, then that tells you where it's going to go, and you can plan. And we have a lot of people that call us that have never been here, of course, and we give them some ideas on where and how to get there. But yeah, they know way ahead of time where the course is going to go, and plus, when we open pre-running, we post, everyone has the GPS files, so spectators, they just have to get on our webpage and get all that information.
The modern trophy truck is quite a beast of a vehicle, suspension-wise, tire-wise, and certainly horsepower-wise. How concerned are you about where this is all headed? I mean, these things have gotten to be just four-wheel drive rocket ships.
Well, if you go back to like 93, like you said, when you were racing, that's when trophy trucks pretty much started. They were running 37s. I mean, there was a few all-wheel drives. I remember McPherson had an all-wheel drive, and there was a few of them. But who knows where technology is going to go? I mean, it would be great if we can like cap it. If you can't, we already have 40-inch tires. And so we go through a lot of road repairing and things like that because we destroy the roads out there. So it's just more work for us. But it's the industry also that it's growing. Tire manufacturers want to go always bigger. I mean, it's I don't know how you can limit that. But like I said, if you go back to 93, you would never thought that we would be like this right now. I have a friend that Larry Connor. He told me back before the all-wheel drives, like in 5 years, if you're not racing an all-wheel drive, you're not going to win. And he pretty much nailed it.
Yeah. So where's the technology headed now? Is it mostly in the tires?
Well, who knows if someone's going to find out really like I don't know, an electric trophy truck. I don't know if that would be the future. Suspension wise, I think I mean, of course, there's always room for improvement, but it's there. I mean, it's unbelievable what those things can do. Bigger tires, I don't know. It just means more. It's more weight, more everything, and we have no clue where our mastermind, the fabricators, are planning. But the future could be electric, hybrid. We don't know.
And finally, how about the manufacturers? Baja was always a proving ground. If you could survive Baja, you could survive a workday, right?
It's coming back, thank God. It's coming back. We have had meetings with one of the biggest, of course, car manufacturers in the world, and they already started. They're going to start building
all-terrain.
Yeah, vehicles that you can buy at a dealer and you can go race with us. So they're coming back, and it's coming back big.
That's fantastic. So tell me again, when is the San Felipe 250, the first race of the year?
It's from the 20th to the 25th, I think, from March of next year. Again, it will include a qualifying round, on Thursday, then Friday tech inspection on the Malecon, and then Saturday the race. And it's like Jose says, it's great weather, great atmosphere there, and very, very popular race.
And then next year's Baja 1000 in November again.
Correct.
Yes.
Well, we have San Felipe, Baja 500 in June, Baja 400 in September, and November, again, the Baja 1000. We're sticking to our 4 races.
Great. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to see. I'm going to have to call Darren York up, see if I can climb in that second seat. See you guys back down there in November.
Truck doesn't exist anymore, sorry. It burned. It burned to the ground.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. Great pleasure to have you on, and what a great organization that SCORE is. So thank you very much for being with us. I think
registering on EPARTRADE is easy. To start, click on the Join for Free button on the homepage. First, search your company to see if it's already in our database. If you see your company on the list, click on it to select it. Then, choose Claim Company if you are one of the decision makers, an owner, marketing person, or main company contact. Or choose Join Company if you are an employee, and press Continue. If you couldn't find your company in our database, select Register a New Company. On the following page, fill out your name, email, phone number, job title, and choose a secure password. If you chose Register a New Company, you'll need to choose your business type. Select Supplier if you're looking to display products or services and connect with buyers. Choose Racing Business if you're looking to source new parts and connect with suppliers. Choose Race Team if you own or are a member of a professional race team. Then, enter your company name. Please provide a website, Facebook page, or LinkedIn if you have one, and choose to either claim or join the company. You can view and agree to our terms of use here. If you'd like to receive our weekly newsletter, choose Accept. Finally, click Register Now and your registration will be submitted for approval. An email will be sent to your inbox. Please confirm your email address and you will be approved shortly. Welcome to EPARTRADE.